So I just wanted to get this quick 5-minute video out there, and this shows honeybees at a feeding station. My name is Frederick Dunn, and today I'm testing bees to see if we can track them back to their original landing boards to see who's at a feeding station. For example, a lot of beekeepers this time of year, it's October the 5th, there are foragers out and about, and there are slim pickings in the environment. So some people like to put out feed buckets, sugar syrup, things like that. But how do you know if you're feeding your own bees or someone else's? So I got this great idea. I'll take some powdered sugar here, and at a feeding station, we'll dump the powdered sugar on the bees that are feeding at the station, and then look, their bodies are covered in white dust, and then they're going to fly back to the parent colony, and we'll know, are we feeding our own bees or feeding someone else's? So these are foragers. The white stuff that you see here is powdered sugar. That's all it is. And this is a 1 quart yellow feeding jar there to the right. And there are some wasps mixed in here, which is predictable this time of year because they're looking to rob people out, other honeybees. But something interesting happens. So I want you to look at the bees that are coming here, and we're looking at this at 15% normal speed. So this would be in a frenzy. They would be coming and going at a high rate of speed. You could barely see what's going on. But something interesting happened, and why I want to share this 5-minute video. Look at the hind legs of the bee front center at the 6 o'clock position right now. She is gathering the powdered sugar, combing it back to her hind legs, putting it in her corbicula, and creating pollen balls. So we know it's not pollen, it's nothing but sugar. There is a little bit of cornstarch generally mixed in with powdered sugar, and that's to keep it from clumping. And then I started to notice that several of the bees were creating little pollen balls on their hind legs and flying back to their parent colonies with balls of sugar on them. It won't hurt them, but it'll be a huge disappointment to the nurse bees in that colony. They'll fly in there, they'll unload their little pollen balls into the cells near the brood, and it will just be sugar. Here again, we've advanced it a little bit. A lot of the powdered sugar is gone. It did serve the purpose. We got dry powdered sugar on the hairs of the bees. Look at their abdomens, especially on the tips. For some reason, tended to be sticky there. And as they land on your landing boards, you'll know you're feeding your own. Now, if you don't see sugar-coated worker forager bees coming back to your beehives, then you are feeding someone else's bees. A surprising number of bees at your feeding stations may be coming from other apiaries. Now, if you look centered there right now, you see a forager with white pollen balls on her hind legs, powdered sugar. So that was interesting. They'll put it in there. The bees will use the sugar, of course, when it gets back to the hive. I just wanted to share that with you because it's the first time I noticed that the bees were actually taking the powdered sugar and making pollen balls with them, which really are just sugar balls. So you can have a lot of fun. Here's another thing. If you've got a colony that's being robbed, who's doing the robbing? You look at the landing board, there's a frenzy of bees that are trying to attack. Your defending bees are squirreling around with each other and engaging the attackers and maybe losing. You can interrupt that attack with powdered sugar again, and then you'll see which colony is launching the attack on the weaker colony because you'll see them going back to it with powdered sugar all over them. So it's another means of control. For example, you see the powdered sugar bees going back to one of your super strong colonies of bees, and rather than screening off the bees that were the victims, you can dump powdered sugar on, which clears the landing board, and then you can close up the colony that's doing the attacking. They have plenty of resources anyway. Just put screen on there and keep them from coming out and continuing their attack on the bees that are being weakened. And then you have a chance to close up the entrance on your colony that was being attacked. So it's interesting stuff, ways to feed the bees some sugar that's kind of entertaining. And this, of course, is happening after you've pulled your honey supers. So this week, the week of October 5th, our honey supers are all coming off. And now we can once again experiment with feed supplements if you want to, and look at hives in general. Now, I would have done this on a beehive that was being robbed, but I don't have any. The entrances are all good today, and there's a much longer video coming out tomorrow that will show you the landing board situations and some of the reasons that your bees may be becoming a little more defensive this time of year. So we're going to go over the skunk raids. I've got some fixes for that. And we're going to show different types of entrances, including the flow hive entrances, which people seem to be often puzzled about how to close them up so those bees can defend themselves against attacking wasps and other honeybee foragers like these. So I hope it was fun to watch. Look at the ones that have the white pollen balls on their hind legs. It was a curious side activity that the bees were doing, so I thought I'd share that with you now. And all the audio you're listening to, of course, is real, coming from the bees, just at 15% normal speed. So thanks for watching. If you haven't done it already and you're in the northern United States or someplace where winter is moving in on you, it's time to close up those entrances, very narrow, and make sure that your bees can defend them. Have a great day.